Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to issue 1 of the podcast. I want to welcome you guys, and today I have two guests with me. I say guests, they may stick around. We don't know. This is new. It's a test. It's a long test. So my name is Aaron, and with me today is Mr. Nick and Mr. Ryan.
Hello.
So
I'm Mr. Nick.
I'm Mr. Ryan, aka Rhino King.
Yeah. We'll do all the plugs and stuff, like right at the end. We'll do that bit, but let's get into things that are nerdy. So, what have you guys been interested in lately? I know one thing that Ryan's
we gotta talk
say.
about the Last Jedi trailer because that came out like a couple hours ago.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Like that shit made me tingle a little bit in some interesting places. Like
Like which places?
it all in and around the genitals. Like it was.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
So-
just like in the body, but I guess that specifics.
That too. So, me and my brother were sat there, and he goes, "Dude, you got come downstairs. Star Wars Celebration starting." I was like, "Sick." It's only day 2 technically. They might show something cool. And they get up on stage, and then they're like, "Yo, here's a teaser trailer." And it's like, "Oh shit!" But first, before they did that, they said they would psyching. There were blue balls in it. They were like, "Hey, here's a teaser," and then people were like, "Oh shit!" Poster. Okay, still that's amazing. It looks sick. And then they went, "Oh yeah, and here's a trailer too," and everyone lost their minds. And you gotta right. The thing I've been seeing though, people have been saying "Oh, this is just this is not what I want to see. It's not. I'm not getting the full gist of this. It's a teaser. It's not even the full trailer, man."
Yeah, but I kind of agree with them though, because I mean it didn't leave a lot to wonder. It just kind of looked like a lot of here's Rey crawling around and then here's some spaceships. That's pretty cool, I guess. It just seemed very generic. You know what I mean?
Okay, the thing I would say about the teaser is that this is literally pinpoint, point from point, the same as the Force Awakens teaser, where because where you have the first scene where you see Rey just gasp for breath. That was literally the same thing that went with the Force Awakens when you see Finn just pop out of nowhere and gasps on the desert sand.
True, and they might have done that for continuity, just to kind of be like, oh, look at this reference. We did this last time.
True.
It also just kind of seemed. It also may seem a little lazy. They're like, let's just put the same script in. It'll be good.
Episode 9 though, they've got Poe, so it's a bit different. He's on the floor and then he jumps up and gasps for air. That he just has to breathe, man. That's that's it.
He just has to breathe.
That's what they're going for. But I'm still quite hyped for it though. The thing is, so Force Awakens came out December 17th, 20 for us at least. I don't know what it was for you.
Yeah,
Nick.
I think it was about then, probably December 10th then.
Yeah, something like that. And then they've been hyping that for a year, and we're only 4 months in, so we've got 8 months until this comes out. They hyped it for so much longer in comparison to what the amount of time the build up is so much longer for that than it is for this. So I'm interested on how they're going to pace things out. Are they going to drop as many teasers like they did with the last one, or the Force Awakens, or what? What do you guys think?
I'd imagine it'd be a smart move to kind of play it cool, lay low for a little while, just to get the two sides. Because as you said, that for Force Awakens, they really pushed the trailers and pushed all the hype and stuff. And if they just kind of let this one simmer and then let it all happen, that could go with a good marketing technique of seeing both sides and figuring out which one works, so that for the last movie they can choose the better option of the past two.
Yeah, I agree with Nick, because literally the reason that they did that with the Force Awakens is because that was a long-awaited arrival back of Star Wars after the prequels. People were a little bit unsure of where the direction was going, especially after they announced that all the legend stuff afterwards, the books and stuff, was no longer in canon. So it's okay, so this is a new story, new canon. We gotta basically let these people, we gotta let the fans know that we're still that basically give them a gist that this is the same Star Wars from the episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Right. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. So I can see that too. I can see it. I can see what. I guess people now know, like after Force Awakens has come out, like people know what they're expecting. They know where this. They know that it's going to be top. Like, I know there are some people I don't get it. There are people who really did not like Force Awakens, and I don't know why. But for the majority.
I can see their point because I've seen a lot of reviews who, especially just one particular one, who basically said it was literally the same thing as A New Hope plus Empire Strikes Back. I can see the comparison. I don't think that makes it a bad film. I think because my general response is Force Awakens is in I think fifth place as my favorite Star Wars movie, and that's after Rogue One came out.
Fair. That's fair.
It's not a bad film. It's just it's not a bad film. It's just that I've seen the plot. I see the plot points.
Yeah.
But it's still an enjoyable film, to say the least.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, it's not. It's definitely not in my. It's not my top. Like, I'm probably in the same boat with where you are in positioning of it. It's kind of like, well, if you think, what, A New Hope, it wasn't the best Star Wars film. You know, it seems to be like, I feel like they're going for a pattern. They're gonna have, so that was the start. There's like, these are the guys, right? These are the guys, and then for The Last Jedi, they'll kick it right out the water and be like, boom, Empire Strikes Back, bitch, and then this will be their empire. This will be their empire. Hopefully not like this. Hopefully it's not like the second film in the prequels. You know, it's not like an Attack of the Clones. I'm hoping not.
You see, I didn't mind You see, that's the thing about the prequels. The prequels to me are bad, but I kind of see I kind of don't dislike them as much as other people.
I get what you mean.
With it.
Like I can appreciate them. Like this is right. This is the one thing that I say. So there's a guy at work who he thinks Revenge of the Sith is really good. I liked Revenge of the Sith in its own right, and he says, but he hates Episode 1 like everyone else. I can appreciate Episode 1 more than Revenge of the Sith. Jar Jar aside, it brought characters into the light that you didn't know much about beforehand. So Obi-Wan, Anakin as a guy himself. Yep.
I know people had a huge problem. I really loved one. It's one of the, obviously it's such a good movie, and it's the thing that really bugs me was the explanation, the science behind it. I know that's a common argument, but it's just like it was a fantasy sort of situation, and they explained the fantasy with science, which I guess makes sense, science fiction, you know, all that stuff.
Midichlorians.
It just seemed like it was like these three movies, and like, well, we should probably explain the point to it, like how it works.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people got all up in arms about that and how it doesn't make any sense. They would explain it because it doesn't need to be explained.
Yeah, I can see where you like. It was definitely it. I can see where people are complaining, like, this is not what I thought. It was a spiritual thing, but it, as I say, it explains some, like, as you were saying, explain the science behind it. It explains some plot point, like how do people get the Force, etc., like stuff like that. But it also brought us a good understanding and another villain type figure, because in the originals, the only ones you knew of or ever heard about was the Emperor and Darth Vader. You never got like, it's like, did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? You know, you didn't get any back stories to people from before. You didn't. It was just these two guys who were like all powerful, you know. Whereas now you can see that there was an order before them. There were more. There have been different darts and Sith Lords, and
Mm-hmm.
you can. It gave you an understanding, and I know there's going to be a lot of shit coming from this because like there'll be people like, oh my god, these guys don't know, they're not true nerds, they're not fat. Cool, you do you, boo. You know.
Yeah.
And before,
I just like to point out anyone that want to challenge my nerdism. I have the Old Republic books and also the Jedi Code handbook and the Sith Book of the Sith.
Yeah, man, I got that shit.
Yeah.
I got Book of the Sith. I don't have like all of the rest. You got me trumped on that one.
I only have the Jedi Code. I was thinking about getting the Imperial handbook because I love me some black leather.
Oh yes, man. Bit of black leather. Oh god. Right, so we'll go back to Last Jedi. What are you guys hoping for the film? What are you guys hoping for coming from the film?
I'm hoping for I'm hoping for a lot more story. It just seemed like it seemed like there wasn't a lot of story in the last one. There was still some, but it was also very actiony. And while it was nice, it's like, yes, this is cool, but I want more of like, let's figure out what the heck happened. Let's figure out some of this stuff, like fill in the plot holes that Force Awakens put into place.
Yeah, no, I can understand that, man, because they did leave like some things hanging, like, but who is Rey? Literally, it was just like, you're gonna help me from this planet, and now you're sticking around, and now you've got the Force. It's like, alright, but how? Who are her parents? You know, all the big questions that everyone asks, that everyone has been asking since the day the film came out.
Yeah.
The thing I'm looking forward to, because I could care less about Rey where she came from.
Yeah.
It's what she does in the future that's really more interesting to me. And also the thing that I really am looking forward to is because it goes back to Nick's point about how they use science to explain the Force. Because in that final, because I've been keeping up with like the general synopsis of what the Last Jedi is bringing to the table, and in that last moments of the teaser, Luke is saying, basically I can't remember the quote exactly. I think it was the Jedi need to end.
Right.
And I know from the synopsis of basically what they're going for is basically the story just is this. Luke is at the first Jedi temple.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically been learning about the Force before like the earliest Jedi years, like before they became like defenders of the Republic.
Right.
And basically it's hinted that basically the doctrine of the Jedi has been changed so much. You know, like the Bible, how there's like so many different testaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hinted that basically the Jedi code that we've known is actually wrong.
All right. Okay.
So it brings kind of like a questioning to because I think it's their way, basically storytelling wise, saying, hey, maybe what you heard in episode 1 through 3 was wrong about the Force, or just in general.
All right. Okay.
Like it's like their way of backstepping in a sense. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Where are you going to take this?
Yeah, interested to see how they're gonna do that. Like, can they get? So we thought it was midichlorians, but it's probably not. You know, I could just imagine them like, yeah. So our science has been wrong this entire time. It is spiritual, guys. It's spiritual. It's spirit. Don't worry, it's spiritual.
Well, not just that, because the one thing that I've always had a problem with the Star Wars, and this is the problem I had with the prequels up to even the originals, is that with the Jedi in itself, I don't like the Jedi because their main policy of removing all emotional attachments.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's stupid. You're literally not making yourself humans. You're making yourself robots.
Yeah.
And it's like they deny the dark side and just fully go on the light. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You're humans. Well,
yeah.
You're humanish.
That's why I like Qui-Gon, man, because he expresses both sides. He'll live through both sides. He was known as it was unfortunate. They've kind of twisted it a little bit now because he was known as Grey, but currently you can't really refer to him as Grey because if either of you are familiar with Star Wars Rebels, they've got a character in it called Bendu, who is Grey. He explains himself as Grey. It's like, but you're a mystical godlike being, so now we can't have Qui-Gon as Grey. You know?
Yeah.
It kind of throws that out of the window.
Well, no, you can still have him as Grey. You can just say that this character is a different form of Grey.
It's a different shade.
Yeah, different shades. Different shades. Oh no. Don't even remind me of that. I just recently watched that film. Don't even remind me of that. Oh.
He's like on the on the spectrum of 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God.
He's like 26 and Bendu's 25. You know, he's dead center.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I didn't think I'd ever put those two franchises together. That's kind of ruined some things for me. A little bit on the inside.
I don't know if it's made that film better for me in my case. Thing I gotta ask you two gentlemen though.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of get an idea of what Rey is doing, and Poe is just gonna be Poe. He's gonna be awesome, flying around in his X-wing.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. What is Finn's role in all of this?
So I don't know, because there was this whole thing like on the Star Wars Celebration. Someone goes, they asked the crowd. It's like I'm looking forward to Rey stepping into her shoes. Poe being badass, and then they go, and Finn, he's gonna. I can't wait to see what he does. It's like the guy's out cold.
I can't wait to see him more laying down.
Like the only shot we got of him in the teaser, it looked like unconscious in a med bay, or something. Like I don't know what that was.
That the med bay could be maybe like the Order's med bay.
You know what? I had a feeling. Right, so you see him in the med bay, and then you see those ships drop. The whatever the hell those are, but they look cool, and I want one. Remind me of pod racers, little bit. I think they're trying to transport, because if you look in the distance, there's AT-ATs in the back. They're like in the distance. I feel like they're trying to get these casualties from the burn. I don't know. There's probably an attack. They're trying to get these casualties to a place, and they've got the AT-ATs in front of them. I don't know. I'm hoping they've got a bit of an explanation as to why Finn's just out cold for a big portion of the film. Like,
Well, the explanation is.
Well, no, like
you got lightsaber to the back.
yeah, no, I get that, but like, why they haven't brought him back? Because people get their limbs chopped off in this franchise, and they're just like, yeah, Rise of Rain next day. You know, like Luke passed out in Cloud City and then got thrown in a Bacta tank, and he was all good. Like, why has he not been thrown in a Bacta tank? You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah, they could have. Unless he's like properly like the Force has taken his soul away or something, you know. Like that's how they start explaining the spiritual side of stuff instead of the science. They're like, he's just not got the Force, man. You know, he's not good. He's not doing well. Right. So before we make, you say your point, man.
All I hope is that when he comes out, he gets that same stuff that traitor foot soldier got, that whooped his ass. Like he literally takes his gear and starts using that.
Oh, I can't even remember the name of the trooper, but he gets like the baton and the
traitor.
No,
Yeah, it was TR-8R.
Oh, right. Oh, was it? Oh god, didn't even know that. Oh mate,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's so cool. But he gets the baton and the shield, and he's just like, "Bitch, come at me," you know. But before we take this into a full Star Wars podcast, there are other things that we do need to talk about. So, I don't know how. I know, Ryan, you keep up to date religiously on those DC shows and your Marvel shows. Nick,
Yes, sir.
I don't know how much you do.
Not much. I've
No-
heard Iron Fist is pretty okay. A lot of people aren't too pleased with it, but a lot of people still really like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the other two are pretty good. What Luke Cage was, people said was okay. It took a while to get into the story. And then
Okay.
Jessica Jones is pretty good. That's all I know.
And the DC stuff, you're just like straight over your head.
Yeah.
Right. So there's DC shows, Nick. If
Like Arrow and
the Flash,
and Supergirl.
yay, he knows
Oh
of them.
shit! I forgot about Supergirl. I don't watch that one.
You don't watch. Oh, you're not missing much. So this alright? Okay, I've got a little thing for people who want to watch Supergirl. The way I see it, series 1, not great. It introduced people. They had some budget to it, and then CW took over and they've improved on it. So currently, Supergirl is a lot of uninteresting story arc and then occasional filler episodes that are like the best thing you'll ever see. So they had a crossover event with the Flash, and
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
yeah, it was a full musical thing, and because they brought Music Maestro into it, and like so, Melissa Benoist, who plays Supergirl, and
Yeah.
Grant Gustin were both in Glee. All right, the guy who plays Music Maestro was also in Glee, so
Darren
it
Criss,
was
yeah.
yeah, he knows. So they bring he's got it. So that was an
Glee.
he knows that Glee. So they brought that thing like that together, and it was great. But just before this, they did one with a character that is known for annoying Superman, and his name is Mxyzptlk. And
Oh, I love that dude.
oh my god, the episode was fantastic. Like, it got to the point where he was Superman at one point, but with an M on his chest. Like, it because he was in love with Kara Zor-El and was just like, right, guys, just. I don't know why they can't do these kind of like epic stories in their normal arc, because their normal arc is so weak, so weak. But then you've got shows like The Flash and Legend of Tomorrow and Arrow. Sorry, got a bit choked up there, man. Those 3 shows are like currently doing extremely well, except for the. So they've got like the opposite. Their arcs are doing great, and then their offshoot episodes are not so great. I don't know what's going on. What do you think, Ryan, of like the current thing with the Flash, like the whole Savitar and stuff like that? What are you thinking?
Okay, the whole stuff with Savitar. I would say I like it a lot better than season 2 with Zoom.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
However, Savitar himself as a character, I'm not too interested in.
Yeah, no, you're taking the words out of my mouth, man. Like this. So, because you're not too familiar with it, Nick, basically, Savitar is this guy that appeared, and he says, "I'm the god of speed." Now, in the comics, he was just a guy, and he didn't really show up at all. And when people first saw him, they were like, "Oh my god, this guy's probably gonna be like Wally West's uncle." So
Okay.
like, I can't Daniel West in it, yeah, Daniel West. And he had like this, he's got this sick armor, and they had this the production value, right? The animation on this armor was unreal. He was like, it was just super high quality. And then they were like, and now we're not going to bring him back because I think we just spent our budget. And then when he does come back, they've made a suit for the guy who's playing him and animated little bits.
Interesting note: the guy that plays him in the suit is the guy that plays Colossus in the original X-Men movies.
No way.
Yeah, apparently.
What? What? No. That's insane. What? Alright, okay. So, that's changed a lot of things. Not like, kind of. A little bit. But, my issue with the Flash, right? They keep trying to make sure Caitlyn stays as Caitlyn. So Caitlyn Snow is Killer Frost. She's a bad guy. They're trying to keep her good, and everything just keeps going like wrong. And she keeps having like the first 2 seasons, she has a relationship. Both people, 2 different relationships. Both people die. I don't care. That's a spoiler. See, she's now. You'd think after 2 seasons they'd be like, hey, let's not give her a relationship this time. Season
Who's
3.
the other one that died?
So you've got you have Firestorm,
Yeah.
and then you had Jay Garrick.
Oh, I don't even count that.
I don't know. Like, it's just. I count it. I love the show. I love the show so much. Like, it's probably my favorite DC show currently. Like, the Arrow's pretty good. It's very confusing with its villains. Like, we'll get onto that in a second. But with the Flash, it just seems that, like, they seem to nail their villains, like, to a T. To a T. So my only issue is with this, they're dragging on who Savitar is and how they're going to beat him, and I'm pretty sure they only have 4 episodes left.
Yeah, the next one is into the the Once and Future Flash. I can't remember what's after that, because I remember one of them was one of the episodes named Into the Speed Force. No, that was a previous one. I can't remember.
Earlier on. Yeah,
Yeah.
See, it's just confusing, man. Like, they can't. I as much as I love it, I would have preferred them to. So when they had the whole music, was it? No, it was. What was the name of the guy that they just had in the last episode a few weeks back?
Abracadabra.
Yeah, Abracadabra. They had this whole. I know who Savitar, who Savitar is, and you can find out if you let me go. And it, instead of like finding a way to tell the story, like it could have been a good lead for them, and it could have gone great. And it means, like, even with some setbacks, they would still have had setbacks, because they still don't know how to beat the guy. You know, they could have found out there and then.
Yeah. Okay. No. I got trace back. Okay. So Nick,
Yes.
here's a little just like to give you a picture of what Savitar is. Imagine a smaller version of Megatron on crack.
Yeah.
Who believes he is a god.
So he's a guy, but he thinks he's a god?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So he's not. He doesn't have any god qualities. He's just a dude.
He's
Literally,
just fast.
He's just really, really fast, and he's trapped in it.
Like Flash fast, or like Usain
Flash
Bolt flash?
fast.
Well, it's
No,
like
Flash fast.
it's like light speed though, because only some people can see him.
No. That's over now. Everyone can see him now, because that was because he's in the Speed Force.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole thing.
So is that because of the suit, or is it just because that's just who he is?
We
We don't know.
Okay.
And
So
as
it
I'm
could
saying,
technically be some guy, like a guy that just a regular dude that just has like a Batman sort of dude, but he could be a Flash.
but he's from the future or past or something, but they haven't really, you know.
It's basically ambiguous. We have no clue of what timeline he's from, where he's from, what's his what's his actual definition of his powers. Was it from the Speed Force? Was it something he took? It's one of those things that we don't know anything about him, and honestly, I don't really care.
No, I
How
understand.
close are these to the comics? Like, how close is the show to the comics?
Usually quite. Now with Savitar, not so much.
Gotcha.
Cause with so as I said, like, Savitar doesn't show up too much in the comics at all. He hasn't shown up in, like, I want to say, like, 20 years. 30 years.
He was in 2 story arcs. The first story arc where he was a villain for Wally West's Flash,
Right.
and then Wally West literally trapped him in the Speed Force. But then he came back during, I think, Flash Rebirth for about 1 second and then dies.
Right. Yeah. No, I do remember. Yes. So, so he comes back. This is how much he has been shown, and I think, like, how he's shown is like in Greek. It was like Greek attire, wasn't it? It was like a Greek centurion almost, if you could imagine that. And
Okay.
as Ryan said, he looks like Megatron. Like, you know, he looks like Megatron. So they're not keeping to his comic. Like, he was a really odd villain to choose. Really odd. Like, they had Reverse Flash, they had Zoom, and then they chose a guy like Reverse Flash and Zoom for Flash readers and anybody who knows the Flash. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And then they were just like, and Savitar, who? Like, what? Loads of people, like, no one knew who this guy was.
But I like that though, because I like basically taking obscure villains and making them your own, making them something unique and something more important.
Yeah, no, I can see why it would be interesting. It was just a bit odd and out of place for people, especially because it was a new show. It is basically a new show. It's only been like 3 years, isn't it? It's only been 3 years. So to throw in a guy that's like totally obscure in terms of villains, like they could have. I expected them to have like Mirror Master as a main villain at some point, or you know, just someone along those lines. But I don't know. They're doing it somewhat well. They're doing it somewhat well for a guy who there isn't much to know about. You know, like, yeah.
Because the problem I had. All right, so here's the problem where the Zoom story got stupid for me. Is when, all right, so they found his name, where he's from, they found out all his information. Flash had him beat, and then the famous meme quote that Zoom says, "You can't lock up the darkness,"
Yeah.
and then he breaks free, and then I'm just like, "You dumbass! You took too long. You're a speedster. Why are you taking so long?"
There's so many things with like the fastest man alive.
Okay, it's not even just that. All right, so the next later on in that same episode, he actually gives him what the villain wants, his speed, and I'm just like, "Are you dumbass? He could literally kill you all."
He
right
gives him
there and
heroin.
then. He gives. Funny you mentioned that, Nick, because within
Funnily
that same
enough.
scene, that same scene. All right, so basically, he takes all of Barry's speed, puts it into a little flask, and basically Zoom just grabs it like a junkie and injects it in himself. And then he just has like a speed orgasm, is the best I can describe it, where his eyes just go like shining with black and sparkling, and then he just starts vibrating violently.
Yep. That's how they portrayed it. See, I love right. This is what I was expecting for season 3. So the end of, spoilers to anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but I mean, you're a season behind. So with Zoom, they defeat him, and then he gets like kind of ripped apart a little bit. It was from the Speed Force, wasn't it? He gets like all burnt up and stuff, and becomes what is, yeah, and he becomes basically what is like, it's like death.
He's the Black Flash.
He's the Black Flash, but then they don't use him as the Black Flash. They instead use him as something they had previously in the same season, which is like a wraith. So he goes after people who like don't belong, basically.
I gotta say, I actually love that about it. I actually like that because it's like, don't give him too much importance. Make him something like a bigger backing issue. It's like something of a necessity evil, a necessary evil.
But
because,
like, go on.
No, because I was just saying, because he actually comes to one of my best points about the other show, Legends of Tomorrow, which is like, because that show, Legends of Tomorrow from season 1 to 2, it was a major change.
Huge.
Within the season, they saved both Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, which I find fucking hilarious.
It's so good, man.
That they were able to get away with that just by get over like copyright issues or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't have to show anything from it. That was the best part.
True.
Like,
because Star Wars is a Marvel property now, so it's like, okay, so we got away with having a Marvel property on a DC show. Brilliant.
It's totally bizarre. Like, you wouldn't see that anywhere else, but CW were just like, yeah, we're gonna do it anyway, man. But, like, the one thing, like, I like the fact how, so they ended up using Black Flash in this season of Legend of Tomorrow, which is, it was a cool concept, and the way that they've done it, like, he's going after a remnant that shouldn't be there. But I was expecting him to be in the Flash because because Barry fucks up the timeline. So
many times.
So many times. So I was expecting him to go after Barry because I'm sure that's more of a fuck up than a remnant being somewhere he shouldn't be. You know, like he's changed the timeline enough times to make like people get confused. Like that. It was so confusing at one point. It's like who knows, who doesn't know, you know. So he messed up the timeline so much, but this guy that they've just created that fixes these problems because he reaps away like the problem and fixes the timeline doesn't go after Barry, and they don't use him again in the show. It's like, okay. Oh wait, no, he was in one episode where Barry was in the Speed Force, and it was the shortest fight ever. Like, it was really short.
Well, yeah, because how can you fight literally death itself? You can't.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it was just the fact that he wasn't used to his. I don't think he was used. He has been used to his full potential. Whether or not they change this in like a later season, they'll use him more. I don't know.
Yeah. I will just say this about CW shows in general, because because, alright, the thing I would say about the CW show, alright, in terms of the shows, Supergirl, not my cup of tea. Legends of Tomorrow has been brilliant. I think what they need to do is just keep up with the craziness. The Flash, I like it as an episodic thing, and the Arrow, I like it as its own general thriller, like its own crime stories.
Yeah.
Because it meets that genre of mystery adventure sort of thing, rather than going into like the whole true comic bookish thing that Flash and Legends does.
Yeah, like there's one thing that I love about it's every time a metahuman turns up in Arrow, the character's like especially Diggle. They're just like, how is this a thing? Like, how does this exist in your city? And they're so baffled by all these metahumans and stuff going around, and yet they have people who come back from the dead and use magic, but they just can't comprehend metahumans. And I love that. I love the fact that they're so separated but so connected in the same way. It's fantastic. I love that so much. But funny we mentioned Arrow, right? So Arrow's got Arrow has some interesting villains, and they've got two characters currently going on. One called Prometheus, and then they've got a guy who's shown up occasionally called Vigilante.
You mean Punisher 2.0?
Punisher 2.0. So Punisher 2.0, basically, his name for this version that they have in the comics is Adrian Chase.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. And now they've recently brought so this guy Prometheus has been going around and killing people with like throwing stars, and they'll call him Throwing Star Killer. It's like, alright, cool. They've recently found out who this guy is, and it just so happens to be the district attorney whose name is Ryan. Can you please tell Nick this man's name?
Spoiler alert. Adrian Chase.
So
Okay.
So the guy the name for Vigilante, the person who's meant to be Vigilante, is the villain. But this is what a friend from work brought this up to me, and I added onto it. He said, I said, it's weird though. You never see Vigilante and Prometheus in the same area with another person around. So we've come to the conclusion that he has a split personality. So
I
when
never thought about that.
So when he's being all a good guy inside as a district attorney, he's Adrian Chase. So when he comes to like stopping drug dealers and stuff, he's Adrian Chase. But then when he comes to fighting the guy who did something to his father, he's Prometheus. He's a different guy. It just splits. As soon as this other guy's around him, it splits. And there was this one scene where Prometheus pushes Vigilante off a roof. You never see a body land or anything like that. Then the guy doesn't appear for a while. Like, he doesn't appear for a while Prometheus is on, like, a vengeance spree. So I don't know what you think about that.
So it's a split personality, like it's split personality, or he becomes a separate person.
I think it is a split personality. I don't think they're gonna go to the lengths of like, oh, he's a metahuman or something like that. I think it's just gonna be like he's been so fucked up by the Green Arrow doing what he did that he's now got a different personality. I believe that's what it is. So to keep himself good, he uses a different name to be the good guy, and his original name is Prometheus. Like, his original name he has is who he turns into when he's Prometheus.
See, I was just thinking he was just from Earth 2, and it was like an Earth 2 version of Adrian Trace.
Oh, I didn't actually think about that.
Because you see, it's like this comes to the issue. This has come to why CW has so many opportunities now. It's like, okay, all right, because the Flash has opened up the multiverse thing. It's like, okay, now we can easily say it's either split personalities or it's from another Earth, or is he or because it's like it all goes back to the Gay Jarek thing. Jay Garrick, sorry. It's like, am I just using his name? But this is actually not that person.
I'm sorry, did you just say Gay Jarek?
Gay Jarek, yeah.
That is the oh, that's the title episode.
Hey, he wears a very tight red shirt. Come on.
Oh my god. So
and
yeah,
a silver helmet. Come on.
alright, let's not talk about his helmet. Hey! I'm sorry, I had to go there. Right, yeah, as you were saying.
No, as I was saying, it's just one of those things. You got like so many possibilities. It's like, I'm trying not to like figure it into like, because I have this problem where I literally predict the how the plots go in movies and TV shows. Like all right, so go on another case. So to move on from another point, because away from that, Iron Fist, I predicted the entire central plot point.
You know, I did the exact same, man.
Especially the identity of who a character is and who they work for.
Yeah, right. So we're not going to spoil it, like who, but this is the love interest, correct? We're both, yeah, man, yeah. I thought, like, I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna go great. Like this, yeah. I know where this is going. I know where it's going. Not in a bad way, because I don't know if you liked it as well, but I actually liked Iron Fist. Like, I liked the show. It was a fun, like, refresher from what we've been seeing lately with their shows. Like, the first few episodes were a bit difficult to get into, but then it picked up for me like as soon as like episode 4 came around. They seemed to just be like, yeah, so every other person gets over it and like kind of just works through their mess. This guy, nah, he's on a vengeance path the entire time. He's just on his path the entire time. It's like, all right, nice, cool. I don't know if you felt the same about it or not, but yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I hated it.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I'm sorry, I can't agree with you there, because it's like, the thing about Iron Fist, because I come from a background of like loving like old kung fu films. Like my first kung fu film was Jackie Chan Snakes in the Eagle's Shadow.
All right, okay.
And since then it's just like I've just seen so many of them. And to look at this, I was thinking, all right, so it's gonna be a kung fu anthology based in New York.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so the fighting choreography is gonna be good. No,
No,
the
it
fighting
wasn't
choreography-
great.
It was bad because it was the way because it was so heavily edited. I'm like thinking, how could you mess up with the martial arts? Because go back to if you see Daredevil, the previous 2 seasons, they did it fantastically.
Yeah.
This should have just been Daredevil on crack.
Yeah, basically. I can see where you're going, like where you're going with that, but it was just something about it, man. Like it was a bit different. And the one thing that I do have to say to people, I always remind people of this. So, back in the Silver Age of comics, the same with Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist did not sell. Like, singularly, they did not sell well. People could not read their books. It was during a point where people were reading everything that came out, and they could not hook onto these books. But then, about 4 years later, it was like, hey, what if we put these two, like, terrible books into one book? And then we'll still get money for it. And then along came Heroes for Hire with Luke Cage. Yeah, Heroes for Hire, man. Heroes for Hire, Luke Cage, and Danny Rand as Iron Fist. It became one of the best-selling issue arcs, along at the same time that Teen Titans was in its heyday, Justice League was in its heyday, and the Fantastic Four were huge. So as soon as we get as long as the writers do it, okay. As soon as we get Luke Cage and Iron Fist in the same show, I think that's the point that it's like, oh my god, these two guys are amazing together. We love them. More of this, please. You know?
But I kind of see where you're going with there because that brings an interesting point. Because my main issue with Iron Fist, I have the same issue with Luke Cage. More of Luke Cage in the second half because basically the problem with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I did not like their second half villains.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean there.
And where it ends up in both two stories, it's like, yeah, that wasn't a good ending for either of you two.
Yeah, I see, but then if you think about it, like I can see what you mean. I didn't think the villains were all too great either, but then if you put the powers of not the powers, but like the characters together, I'm sure they can bring some. I'm not saying that they're going to be great in Defenders together, but something along the lines, like later on, maybe they might gain that relationship in Defenders, you know?
No, I see your point. I want to mention one more thing about Iron Fist. Okay, this is a funny point because within one of the episodes, they show a better Iron Fist show than what we got.
Wait, which what bit was this?
All right, you know where he meets a certain character and he shows him a tape, an old video reel or old film reel.
Yeah.
I was watching that thinking, holy shit, where's this film?
Where's this guy?
Iron Fist? I want to watch his TV show on Netflix.
Oh my god, right? So he's got a friend who turns up like during the show, and in the books there's this other guy. Oh my god, I think it's like what's his name? So it's something similar to Danny Rand, but it's not Danny Rand, obviously because it's similar and not the same name. Mm-hmm. In the Immortal Iron Fist series, like the books that came out, this guy shows up like this character did, and when he shows up in the Netflix show, I was like, oh my god, this is the other Iron Fist. This is why he can't connect his chi. And then it's like, Yeah, no, this is just some guy that he's friends with. No! You had a perfect opportunity to explain why he can't be as powerful as he is because someone else is using the Iron Fist. And they were just like, and this is his friend who rides carts with him. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that one.
Nah, he's just a dumbass who can't access the full power.
Yeah, man. It's just it's so weak on that point. Like, that's what threw me. Like, they had a full... As much as I say I love things, I will constantly rip them. Like, I will rip them apart at times as well. But just that one factor, they were like, this was like a saving grace they could have had, and it would have explained a lot, and they just thought, nah. This is someone else. Let's do something else with this. Yeah, good job, guys. Good job. So, there's something else I want to... So we were talking about the CW shows before. And recently, an image was released of a character that hasn't been ever seen before on TV. It's a character called... He was fully naked, schlong out in his hand. No, it's a new CW show, and I didn't expect it because there were sayings that Batwoman was the next CW show. The next DC one. And it's not. It's a guy called Black Lightning. Now, oh my god. They showed... if there's any, like, links, I'll put them in the description. If there's not, Google. They showed this picture of a guy, like, the suit, 100% correct. Like, off the bat, he's got this suit. And he's dressed up, and it's I can't remember what the guy's from, but from what it seems like, he already has his powers, like straight off the bat, off the neck of the show. So this is what I'm thinking they're gonna do, right? So Barry Allen in The Flash was brought into the show through Arrow. Like, he got his own show through Arrow through a couple of episodes, and they showed his start off in that. Now, I think they're going to do the same with this character, and he's going to get his story, his like powers through one of the other shows. I don't know which one, but I think that's how they're going to do it. Now, the suit, if you guys want to look at this later or now, whatever.
Looking at it now.
It's so nice. I love the suit, but the guy is a little bit older than what I was expecting.
I actually have no problem with that, mainly because reading a bit about him, because I don't know a lot about Black Lightning. Because honestly, from what I've heard about, I only got interested in Black Lightning because of Static Shock. Because I was like, oh, is this Static when he's older? It's like, oh no, it's a completely different new character.
Yeah.
Completely different old character, I should say. And it's like, no, because he actually already has a kid.
Yeah. I get it, but I was expecting, like, I wasn't expecting this guy. Like, I was expecting someone just a bit... I thought they were gonna... I didn't think they would actually... It's not a bad thing that they've got an actor who is older. I was just expecting they were going to get someone younger to play an older guy, if you get what I mean. So they were going to be like, and this young, handsome man is actually 35. Is that... but he looks like 18, you know? That's what I was expecting. I was expecting it in a bad way.
You were expecting Grant Gustin.
Basically. That's the thing, because every show that we've got, like, we've got Melissa Benoist, Grant Gustin, when they first started these shows, they do look young. They look quite young, and at the time that they're meant to be like late 20s, mid 20s, right? And in Arrow, Oliver Queen's meant to be like mid 20s, early 20s, around that time, and then they age with the show. This guy, like, I was expecting them to get a younger guy to play an older guy so he ages with the show, you know? Rather than get a guy who maybe a few seasons down the line is going to have a grayer hair than he needs to, you know? And might not be as physically fit as what they need him to be, and then the show ends up going downhill, if you get what I mean. I don't know. It's probably just me being like too used to having these young kids now in these shows. But yeah, it's just not what I was expecting at all, you know?
So what you're saying is you wanted a younger black man so you can pretty much have your man fantasies over.
Shut up, man. You're not gonna give that information away. I sent you that in DMs privately, okay? Nah, like I was just I think it's just my brain being used to like younger people playing the roles that they're meant to be older in. You know?
I can understand, but that's where I think I literally just like don't feed your perceptions onto me in terms of my brain, because my brain's just like, I don't care as long as they can play the part right.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm so hope like it was just the instant reaction that I got from him, but I'm sure he's gonna be if I remember right. Let me just quickly get the guy's name up, because what he's been in as an actor, he is fantastic.
Chris Williams.
Yeah.
I've seen him in something.
Oh. Let me just get his name up.
He was in. It said in this article it credits him for Heart of Dixie.
Yeah, he was in that, but he was also in something else.
He was like one of those those TV actors you just see a lot of him in a lot of stuff.
So I did not know this, but apparently the character was played by LeVar Burton at some point.
I just saw that.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, really?
Yeah, man. He did.
Geordie LaForge?
He was in the animated film Superman, Batman, Public Enemies.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Right. I thought it meant like I thought it meant like real life. Like, oh, he was in Prison Break. That's what I've seen.
That's probably where I've seen him.
He's
Yeah.
also in Grey's Anatomy and ER.
That's also probably what I've seen him in as well.
Yeah. So like he's got this.
And ER as well.
Yeah. He is a damn good actor. I am hoping he does the same for the character. I am so hoping.
Okay. No, I remember what I see him in now. It only popped up to me because I saw it on his filmography. He was in Veronica Mars. He plays like he plays like a main character in one of the seasons, I believe.
All right. I've never watched Veronica Mars, so
Oh, you should. It's so good.
I probably should, because from what... Right, okay, so here's another show that we're going to quickly talk about before we do end up finishing up here. Riverdale. Another CW show, also on Netflix. Now, it's following... I'm currently, obsessed with it, because I'm just in love with the show. It's if you've ever watched Twin Peaks, it's like Twin Peaks, but revolving Archie comics. So for me, that mindset going into it is like, oh my god, this is amazing. I've kind of forgotten where I was going with this because I got a little bit distracted by that.
You loved him. You love Twin Peaks or Riverdale, one of the two.
So it was Veronica Mars. That's what you're saying. Veronica Mars. I haven't watched Veronica Mars, but from what I've heard, it's similar. Is it similar to Twin Peaks?
Okay, now here's where I have to say something. I don't remember ever watching Twin Peaks.
Right. Okay.
So I have no background information on Twin Peaks. What I will say is, in terms of Veronica Mars, it is a bit basically, imagine all of them crime thriller shows.
Yeah.
But light on the whole crimes. Basically, like Law and Order.
Yeah.
Special Victims Unit, where you're expecting them to talk about rape every single goddamn episode.
Yeah.
No, this is different. This is like, okay, there's some major crimes involved, but it's literally it's done well in episodic fashion.
All right.
Where
Okay.
like she's solving a minor case while trying to solve a big case.
That's basically Riverdale then. So if you haven't watched Riverdale, have you watched Riverdale?
I've not watched Riverdale either.
Riverdale is basically that. Like, to a T. That is basically what they do. They discuss other topics going on. So it's based, as I said, based around Archie comics, but it follows the murder of a person who is well loved in this town. And they just they follow that for the main part, but then they branch off on these different things that also kind of link to the main thing. So like it's very similar in that retrospect. So I would recommend that if you like Veronica Mars. Then I should probably watch Veronica Mars as well because I haven't watched that, and if it's very similar, you know.
Don't worry, I won't force you to watch it because I probably won't watch Riverdale. I'm not sorry because I'm very weird with like watching TV. I'm very weird with watching TV shows. I watch like certain TV shows like a given time.
Right. Yeah.
Especially now that the hours of my day are like weirdly shortened.
So I told Nick to watch Riverdale when the original week that we were going to record this. Did you, Nick?
Oh yeah, all of it. I watched every single season.
There's one season, Nick, and it's only on
every
episode
single
10.
season. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Every single season.
Thank you, Nick. See, I messaged I messaged Nick, right? And he goes, this is like, no, he messages me. He messages me asking, is there anything I should brush up on? I was just like, he hasn't watched Riverdale, and it's 10 episodes, and they're 1 hour each. I just said, nah. We're good. I knew for a fact he hadn't watched any of it, man. Like, oh, God. So, this entire time that we've been doing this episode, I didn't mention it at the start because I thought people might be interested in this later on because we have other things to talk about. So each episode I'm going to be doing a piece of art, an art piece of a character from popular nerd-ness. This one is Booster Gold, if you don't know who he is. He is a DC character who comes from the future, who wanted to be a really cool superhero and did become a really cool superhero and is a fan favorite. So, a nerd favorite because he's adorable in his own retrospect. So, I've been drawing him. It's going to be posted on my Instagram. The link will be below. And this is the time, guys, where you plug anything that you want to plug. Nothing? Really?
I've got nothing.
Well, I got something, but I was waiting for Nick. Maybe he might have something, so I was being gracious.
I thought we were just like, yeah, we're not going to plug anything.
No, all right. So recently I started doing a live video podcast with my mate, Theo, which you can see at twitch.tv/RhinoKing. That's spelled Rhino, spelled RYHNOKING, all one word. We literally we go live every Thursday, usually around 6-7 a.m.ish. We go late, so feel free to pop by, click a follow. We usually talk about a bunch of nerdy things, TV shows, stuff like that, and as well as like current up-to-date topics, sports. Theo's talk sports. I have no clue about sports, and all that stuff.
Oh, well.
And yes, I do talk heavily about hentai and by particularly likings, but I won't mention that here.
You've literally just mentioned it. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's cool. Yeah, if you've got like Twitters and stuff as well that you want to plug, go for it. Go for it. No?
No. Alright, alright. So you can also follow me on Twitter. Twitter at Rhino King. RYHNO. Yes, spelled the same way as again. And yeah, I'm on Twitter a lot, like almost too much actually. I think I have a problem.
And Nick, you've got nothing, right?
I can plug my Twitter just for the meme of it.
Go for it, man.
Because my Twitter handle is at @NickOut4, like the number 4. Harambe is like dicks out for yeah.
See, the problem is we complain, and then who was it that favorited your tweet? Oh, it was Cisco, wasn't it?
Cisco favorited me and followed me, and then Sir Mix-a-Lot replied to one of my tweets
Like, how does that happen?
with a username like mine.
It's popular, man.
You just think, like, what's going through their head is, this is gonna look so great on my timeline. Like, that's all they've got nothing else to do because it's Sir Mix-a-Lot and Cisco.
Sir Mix-a-Lot replied to it at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock for you.
He's not living a cool life anymore.
I think he is. I think he's doing everything he did, just at a lower scale.
Just at it with a proper bedtime in between.
Listen, all former rappers have that lifestyle. They don't. It doesn't end. They make you think it ends, but no. They go on. It goes on forever until they die.
All the time, man. All the time.
In fact,
anyway,
it doesn't even end when they die. It just goes on.
Yeah, just carries on. The corpses are just like, going away with it. I'm not gonna get into details as to what they do because I'm sure that's a trade secret for them. But yeah, you can imagine. Anyway, we're going to end this podcast off here, guys, and it has been a wonderful time. So if anybody does enjoy this, leave some form of feedback. It's going to be available on SoundCloud, so you can take it wherever you want, and also on YouTube as just a video that you can have in the background. There's no visuals to it, except for the picture of Booster Gold that'll probably be at the end. Maybe.
You should do a drawing during the podcast, like on screen.
No. Dude, that'd throw me straight off. Like, I'd be like, every fuck up that I do, I'd just be like, new page. I just wouldn't even rub it out. I'd be like, and you didn't see that. Oh no, the camera messed up. Something along those lines.
Basically, artists are their own worst critic.
Oh, I hate myself.
That's why they make good art.
Yeah, man. Not in the good art part, I just hate myself. Right, so that'll be everything, guys. Thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you next time. If you have any feedback or questions or any topics you want us to talk about, let us know on the comment thing down there, down below. I don't know why I'm pointing, but like there's no camera, so that's useless. But still, or you can tweet me at Zaphyn, ZAEPHYN. It is the name of the channel that you're currently on, so if you didn't know how to spell it, it's there. See you all next time. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
I assume Minasai.
Oh, Jesus.